Mm, So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. I believe all of you are having a good time. And as all of you know, as per the AICT mandate, in this particular FDP, we had to keep a session for mental and emotional well-being. And since all of us are dealing with students, I thought what could be better than like some session on understanding the personalities, like so that we can understand the personalities of a student, know what their needs are, their wants are, and help them out. So for this session, I have invited a friend of mine. His name is Vivek Bansal. He's a transformational coach who is putting up in Rishikesh. He has been associated with one of the best and the oldest yoga schools, and he has been helping people in their physical development, as well as emotional development, spiritual development. And one of his sessions is understanding your personality, which has been uh, sort of liked by a lot of audience in the past. So I requested him to hold such a session, and he is in the meeting. So I would request him to share his presentation. We could see his presentation recently, and the floor is all his. And I would request him to go ahead with the session. As of now, all the participants cannot unmute themselves, but if need be, I can give them the privilege to unmute themselves if the session needs to be interactive at certain point of time. So, sir, if you can see me and hear me, I would request you to take control of the session. Kindly unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now? Can you see
Yeah,
me?
I can hear. We can hear you. We can't see you yet. Maybe you need to switch on your video.
I have switched on. I think you have seen. You can see now.
Yeah, we can see you now.
Yeah. So, Pratham, I can see only you, but others
Yeah,
can put on their
maybe
cameras.
most of the participants have switched on their videos. So maybe you can request everyone to switch on their videos if the situation allows them. That
Please
can
switch
help
on
the.
your videos. It will be nice to see everybody. And as my friend Pratham has talked about it, that we are going to discuss about different personalities and understanding their strengths and weakness and emotional needs. So it will be nice to look at everybody, and in between we will have a like kind of pause, and we'll have some interaction if time permits. But it will be nice to at least see everybody. I don't know why I'm not able to see. How many of you have really put on your videos? Show participants.
Yeah, so not many have done it.
Okay, but at least if some have done, that can be shown now on the screen. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
missing some
people are
feedback.
like, yeah, we can see Professor Abdul has done it,
But why I'm
and
not able to see it on the
I
screen?
believe it will be coming up slowly and slowly as
Okay,
people do
okay.
it.
So anyway, let's start because it's a very important topic. Because in this world, actually, many times people are confused that how to relate with themselves and how to relate with others. And when there is a mismatch, when there is a mismatch of expectation from oneself and mismatch of expectation from others, then actually a lot of emotional issues comes up. Lot of I mean, people start feeling bad about themselves, people start feeling bad about others. And that's why this program is we have designed based on certain books and literature. Especially there is a book called Personality Plus. You can read it, we can give you the link later on. And we have been doing this workshop for last many months, and people have found it very interesting. So we will tell you the structure of this program. We'll discuss the different kind of personalities and their strengths and their weaknesses, and if time permits, we'll go to the needs also. And the idea to understand the personality is not to judge people. Idea to understand the personalities is to just have better understanding about themselves and better understanding about ourselves. Am I audible, Pratham? Is it fine? Perfectly all right?
Yeah, it's going fine. It's audible very nicely at my end. And again, I request to everyone to switch on their videos.
Yeah. I'm not able to see even one person. I'm seeing only you. Maybe some settings I'm missing or something. Anyway,
Not correct.
show
Like,
device, show coordinate center. Okay,
yeah.
fine, no problem. So I'll just continue my talk. So what I'm saying is that when we are talking about personality, personality is actually Swabhav. Swabhav is something called temperament, something called pattern, way of thinking. And if you go to our Eastern philosophy, it is called what we are born with actually. We all are born with certain particular kind of nature, which is very difficult to change. And we don't have to change. We can only do some kind of additions and we can be careful into certain part of our personality. So a small story like if there is a family of 4 people, there is a father and mother and they have a daughter and son, and father brings a board game one day and he says let's play the game, let's have some fun. And and uh, and father puts up the game and the son comes and he says okay, I'll make the 2 teams. He takes the lead, he start making the teams, and the daughter says no, 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 before making the team, I want to really go through the rules of the game, meticulously start understanding the game and everything. She's very meticulous kind of perfectionist kind of girl. And the mother says I'm too tired and you brought this game, it is looks so complicated, and why are just dragging me into it? Better I just sit and watch Netflix or about something else. So these are like 4 characters here. You see there is a father, there is a mother, there is son, and there is a daughter. So now these 4 people have exhibited a different kind of traits actually. So these different kind of traits we are going to discuss actually. So the father is looking the fun in the game. Let's have some fun. And the son is looking for some control, some kind of administrative qualities in the game because he wants to make some team and want to take a lead. And the daughter is looking for perfection. And the mother is looking for peace, the easy life. So what I'm saying is, so these 4 personality, we'll call them type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Let me share my screen because that will be nice to start with now. So here you see there are 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have put like this. So this is type 1 personality, which is for fun. Type 2 is C, it is for control. Type 3, it is for perfection, and type 4, it is for peace. So these are the 4 personalities we are actually looking into it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but like we can just see your first slide.
Pardon me?
We are just on your first slide. So if that is, you're on the first slide, I believe. The quadrants you mentioned. Slide.
Quadrant is not coming.
No, if you can move the slide, that would be helpful.
That's what I'm. Now also it's not coming.
No, maybe you can go to the full share screen or like F5. No, we can just see your like the software in which the slides are there.
What to do? Share screen. I did. Sharing a window. Now, Pratham? Nothing. It's not moving only, it seems.
Yeah, it's still the first slide. Maybe sharing a whole screen would help rather than just the software. Share your whole screen, and in that sense, we will able to share, see
It's
everything.
not sharing the whole screen. I tried. It has some problem. Now?
Yeah, now you can see myself.
Now?
Yeah, so now share. Now if you open,
Now?
and just yeah, now move the slides.
I moved
Yeah,
already.
now we can see. Yeah, great.
It's not moving only.
Yeah, it is. We are now back to your first slide.
Now,
It's still black. Yeah, now we are on the quadrants, which you were mentioning.
yeah. Thank you. So this is so you can see only the screen now, na? So now there is this 4 quadrant. Let me come back to the point. So these 4 quadrant are talking about 4 kind of different personalities. Type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4. Let's call them like that. So this is a very simplistic model. If you find in this world, the many models people have created, which talks about 9 kind of personalities or 16 kind of personalities. Even if you go to like zodiac signs, if you go to astrology, there are so many ways to understand different kind of personalities. But this particular kind of model is very simple, and it's very easy to understand and apply, and also to share with others. So that's why I very much like this model, because it's just 4 kind of personalities, and most of us are actually blend of like 2 of them, like 60% of one and 40% of another, or 70 of 4 and uh, 30 of 2. Like I personally find myself the blend of 3 and 4 actually most of the time. So just remember this, these 4 points you please note down. Type 1, which actually mostly desire is for fun. Fun is not just having fun all the time. Fun means like easygoing life. Type 2 is more of a control. They want to have a control of the situation. And 3 are always looking for perfection, and 4 are looking for peace. So this is what we are going to discuss in next 1 hour 15 minutes, which we have remaining, that how these different kind of personalities have different strengths and weaknesses. And these this is like basic core nature. Like if you see, when Michelangelo was finally look for a kind of he would make some kind of a sculpture, he would spend a lot of time finding the right kind of stone, because there is a like core thing. So similarly, we all have our core nature, and if we understand that core nature, then actually it is very difficult to, it will be very easy for us to connect with ourselves. And if we understand others core nature, then it will be easy for us to understand, to connect with others also. So like type 1 is like easygoing, and type 2 is most of the time they have my way and do things my way and right now. So this is the main thing for the type 2. Like what one participant was telling in one of the presentation, that sharing, that when he gets up in the morning at 5 o'clock, he wants everybody to get up. But he waits for 15 minutes, and after that he is not able to actually wait for more than 15 minutes. They start just putting the pressure on all of them. But after understanding these different kind of personalities, his patience level increased, because he understood that everybody is not like him. And type 3, they look for perfection. What is their slogan? Let's do it right way, otherwise just don't do it. And type 4, they are mostly peace loving. They want to do things in an easy way. So they want to do things in an easy way. So what is the purpose of this presentation? The purpose of the presentation is, I'm again repeating in a more objective way. The first purpose is that how to deal with myself. Second is to how to deal with others. And the third is how to be affectionate in my own personal life with most lot of emotional fulfillment, so that I can be effective at the work actually. So we are going to discuss these things, and for that we need to discuss each one of the quality in more detail. So let's go back to our personality type 1. Can you see the screen now? New screen, Pratham? Type 1 personality?
Yeah, it's visible.
It's visible, yeah. So type 1 personality have certain strength, Type 1 personality, they are actually mostly extrovert. They're very much kind of talker, they're optimistic, and their basic desire is fun and enjoyment. So one of their first strength is that they have appealing personality. What do you mean by appealing personality? Appealing personality means they're very charismatic. It's very natural kind of charisma is there. They have a lot of fans following, and they can have very powerful speech. They can lift the spirit of others. Another strength they have, they're very talkative and storyteller. if you see them, and they will see them in the walking in the party, they're also the life of the party, you know. When they go to the party, like they will be the center of attraction, people will be around them, they will be telling stories and all the time talking. And the moment they enter into a party, like in 10 minutes, you know, they will scan everybody, and they will look, they will be saying hi and hello, and people will be surrounding them. So these are the particular kind of people you find in type 1, you know. This is like traits you can see. Like even the type 1 children, if they, when they come back from the school, they have a lot of stories to share. They have a lot of stories to share. If you have noticed some of the children, when they come back, they have a lot of stories to share. And another people, they just go to their room and they just want to be quiet. So like that. Another thing they have is type 1 is they have good sense of humor. What do you mean by good sense of humor? Good sense of humor is wherever they will be sitting, they will be cracking some jokes, they will be gathering some jokes, they will be attending a seminar, they will be reading a book, they will be noting down some jokes so that they can share it with others. So this is the one of the main powerful strength of type 1 has. Another powerful strength type 1 has. Pratham, now I am visible, no? My screen is gone.
And no, we can't see you. Your camera needs to
Really?
be on. Yeah.
Okay. This is very sad. I'm using this first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now colorful description, another strength. I will show you the screen later on. Let me just first, but I can't see anybody else even now, so it's okay. People don't want to participate, I think. So colorful description is another strength of type 1. They have great memories for the color. They can be very good contributor if you are having some kind of party and you want to have a very aesthetic kind of situation where you want to decorate, and they can bring a lot of fascinating presentation also. Even a very dry topic, they can make it very fascinating. But they like to talk, a lot. And sometimes they will be holding the hand of a person, just so that he doesn't run away, and they want themselves to be heard by others. Very, very affectionate people. And they feel really disheartened if they're talking and some people just goes away. Another thing you will find in type 1 people, they're very expressive in emotions. Expressive means if they are happy, they will be very expressive. If they are sad, then they will be very expressive. It means, like, in essence, they can't hide their emotions. And they're very spontaneous and free thinkers. Spontaneous and free thinkers mean they don't think too much. Sometimes they actually say first and think later. So that becomes a problem many times, and they promise, and sometimes they themselves forget. And if you have somebody type 1, you can find them, you have to remind them many times. We will discuss in the weakness what problems they can face, type 1 people, and if you're dealing with the type 1 people. So if spontaneity become too extreme, they become undisciplined, they become unplanned. At the same time, they're extremely friendly nature. They don't keep the grudges in their hand. They're so friendly. If they've gone to a movie and they're standing in a queue for the ticket or somewhere else, by the time they buy the ticket, they will have at least 2 friends by the end of the purchase of the ticket. The person who was standing in front of them and the person who was standing behind them. They're so extremely friendly, you know, and extremely forgiving, because they don't keep the grudges, because they want to move on. Their whole purpose of life is to have fun and share fun. So these are the very powerful strength type 1 people have. They're very optimistic people also. They see the sunny side of the life. But type 3, on contrast, actually most of the time they see the another side of the life. They see the thorny side of the life. They see the dark side of the life. So that is another comparison which I don't want to go right now. Let's first focus on the type 1. And another is that they're very generous. Generous means they don't mind share their toys, they don't mind sharing their things with others, and they're just happy to share. And extremely good on stage. Extremely good on stage. Let me show you now my presentation. Just 1 minute. Here. So we have covered these points. Can you see now, Pratham? Is there?
Yeah, we can see this.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah.
So memory for the color physically holds on to the listener, very expressive in emotions. Then to again put it back, it's not running. Then spontaneous and free thinkers, extremely friendly nature, the very optimistic people. And the last one, which you will see, very generous, extremely good on stage, very easy life and unworried life. They don't worry so much about life. Now, one point which you have to remember in this presentation, that any strength which is taken to the extremes, remember this point, any strength which is taken to the extreme, what can it become? It can become weakness. Remember this point. Any strength, when it is taken to the extremes, it can become weakness. And that's what we are going to discuss now, that how these strength can become weaknesses, and how we can deal with those weaknesses. So first you need to know, when I'm presenting this presentation, you have to be constantly active in your mind that which traits you are able to connect with about yourself. And after hearing about all four, you will realize that you will fit in some of them. At least the combination of 1 and 2, or combination of 1 and 3, or combination of 2 and 4, and then it will become very easy for you to work on yourself. So potential and tendency to talk too much, that is the first weakness they can have, because sometimes they talk so much that they forget that other people are getting bored. Or sometimes they will be exaggerating, like they say we went to some party, and or say we went to some place and there were like 100 people, they will say like we were 500 people were there. Their comments will be so long. So the suggestion for type 1 people is that please don't exaggerate so much, because then people will not take you seriously over a period of time. Another problem with the type 1 can be that they have the potential of being self-centered. Why the potential of being self-centered? Because the whole purpose of their life is like walking on the stage, to be in center. They always want to talk about themselves. They always want the attention of others. And that's why many times they don't become sensitive to other needs. They become insensitive. They don't listen others. They only talk about themselves. So they need to deal with this weakness by becoming sensitive to hear other people, to hear other people's opinion, to hear other people's comments, and then it will be wonderful actually. Another problem which type 1 can face is that they are forgetful and disorganized. They are forgetful and disorganized. They forget people's name, they forget appointments. There is a funny story actually. They can go to the extreme, like it is given in this book, that there's a couple who went to the mall, and after doing all the shopping, they were driving back, and the wife was saying, there's, no, there's so much peace in the car. There's no noise, like. And then the husband said, "But where are our children?" They actually left them behind in the mall only, because they were so absorbed in their fun and in their talking, and they have to run back, and they actually had to pick up their children again. This is happens sometimes. You may say this is very extremist kind of things you were saying, but actually it happens with type 1 people. They forget car keys, they forget where they have parked their car, and they have to really stress their brain so much that where my car is, they forget. But some things they remember, like they remember stories, description, events, but the details they forget, small things in their life. So the solution is that they have to keep the diary, a small diary with them. So they have to keep reminders. They have to tell others to remind them. And if you're dealing with some type 1, and that person has told you to do something, then it is your duty to remind that person, because that person will forget. Otherwise, that's how people get frustrated. Why this person keep forgetting? I told him to do this and he agreed for that, and now he's not doing it. But if you know somebody is type 1, then that person will say yes, 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 and later on he may not turn up actually. So better be careful and remind them actually. And if you're type 1, then you start keeping the diaries, because if you don't start keeping the diaries and reminders, then people will not take you seriously eventually actually. So that is the point we are trying to discuss. It's like both ways. If you're dealing with type 1 and you know their strength, if you know their weakness, you can take care of that. And if you yourself is a type 1, then you can work on yourself by working on your strength, which can become weakness if it is pulled to the extremes. Another thing, they have flickering nature, fickle mind. What is a fickle mind? Like sometimes they will be this with this person, and that person they will be talking to. Maybe they may have 100 of friends, but they may not have very close, intimate friends sometimes, because they are so fickle. Because friendship or any relationship require a lot of investment, a lot of investment of the time and energy, but they are jumping around here and there. So then they need to understand that if I want to make a very good friend, then I have to give a time and importance to this relationship. And then another problem, which is very rude, actually, they have a tendency to interrupt when people are talking. Like if 2 or 3 people are sitting, and if like type 3 people, which we'll discuss eventually, type 3 people generally take pause, when they talk. They think and they make a statement with lot of thought process. Type 4 people also, they think, and sometimes they take their own time. And if there is a long pause little bit, the type 1 immediately jump in and they start talking. And they think, it is right, because there is nothing wrong, filling the gap. But actually it's very rude to the type 3 or type 4 person, because that person feels that this person think himself, herself to be too much about themselves. So what I'm saying is, if you are a type 1, if you're trying to connect with yourself some qualities of type 1, then please wait for other people to complete their sentences, and don't think that you are the only person who has to fill the gap, because that will be considered very rude and people will not like you eventually. Mm. Another problem with the type 1 is that they are unorganized, they are actually immature. So they need to develop some more maturity by taking more responsibility and not jumping around and not forgetting their commitments. Let me share this slide again, and you can note down if you want these weaknesses. Yeah, here it is there, Pratham. Yeah. So
Yeah, we can see it.
they talk too much. They're self-centered. So if they talk too much, then they have to remember that sometimes they are giving presentation and they have been given the time for 1 hour, and after 45 minutes they will say, okay, now I'm going to start my lecture. People get panic. People say, what this person is talking about? So they keep forgetting about time. They keep forgetting about others' reaction. How people are taking it. And the self-centered, as I already told you, they just keep thinking, they want just attention for themselves. So they need to learn to hear from others also. And then they have this forgetful and disorganized. They have fickle mind, and then they have this tendency to interrupt and speak, and they behave very immaturely sometimes. So these are the strength of weaknesses of type 1. And let me go to now type 2. And after doing some more, what you say, discussing all the 4, I think then I will take the question. What do you think, Pratham? Or can I take some question now only?
Yeah, whatever way you want. If you want, I will
Yeah.
like give you place to unmute.
Let me
So,
see if somebody want to ask anything, because I'm not able to connect with my audience till now.
okay. So
So
everyone is now
just
allowed.
unmute. Yeah, just unmute and let me see if some people want to ask something. There's no one in here.
What is your suggestion? Suppose there are 4 types. So what is
Yeah.
your suggestion for a man having all these 4 case studies, or having, because there are different human beings and different stages,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
type of. So some
Yes,
will
yes.
be improved and some will be some may be
Uh,
improved by taking some suggestion by this training program. So,
yeah. So the
so
idea is that first we need to identify where we fit in, because everybody cannot be all 4. Everybody will have traits of, if you carefully observe yourself eventually. Uh, yes. If you carefully, let me complete, you can say, if you carefully observe yourself, and eventually after hearing all four, you will understand. That's why I thought I can take question later on. So definitely you will have one of the out of four in maximum quantity. You may have other traits also, because some traits we acquire also. Like if I'm type 3 or type 1, then I may develop some type 2 by my hard work, by my skills development. So the idea is that first we need to understand, become aware that who we are. And when we are aware of our personality, then actually we can focus on those qualities, and also be careful that we are not going to the extremes. Like spontaneity is very good quality, which type 1 has. People like spontaneity because they are not so very rigid, they are flexible. But if the too much spontaneity leads to problem, because they don't organize anything, they don't plan anything. Their vacation, they will not be planning, they will be just waiting for the last moment, and the tickets will go high. And type 3 is just opposite of type 1. Type 3 will be perfectionist. 15 days back, 1 month back, which hotel to book, which flight to book, so much research work will be done. And that becomes also a problem. That's a very good quality, to plan and to meticulously have everything. But too much planning leads to, just imagine, husband is type 1 and wife is type 3, or vice versa. And it happens most of the time in home, it happens in the company also. So the idea is that when you understand that you are dealing with a type 3, then you accept certain part of that personality. And type 3 also try to understand that I'm dealing with type 1, then I should not be too much of planning. I should do little planning, but should give some freedom to the type 1. So the idea is all about awareness. This is a very long workshop actually, which I'm trying to do it in 1.5 hours right now. So at least the idea that we have some awareness, and with that awareness, we start accepting ourselves, and we can start accepting others. Yeah, somebody raising the hand. Yeah.
Prof, here, so you said that so the type 1 is a self-centered.
Type 1 has their attention seekers, they want a lot of attention actually.
Actually, self-centered is also synonym is that they are selfish, or they are egoistic kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
So the type 1 is not shouldn't be an egoistic when he is a fun kind of person.
Egoistic can be anybody, sir, because ego is a different, it's a value system. Attention means they become very happy when they get attention.
Yeah, but self-centered might give the kind of a thing opinion that it's towards like a I can say the controller, that one second one, type 2 person who want to control. So he can be a self-centered kind of thing. Maybe he want to achieve his personal goal to make use of others, by make use of others. So that can be.
You're totally right. You're totally right. We are coming to the type 2 now.
He wants to make sure his goals only achieved. But here, fun type of person may not be very much worried of his goals or kind of thing. See, he wants attraction. That I can agree. But the word self-centered may not be suitable for the type 1. It's my opinion.
No, you're right. Actually, the word also sometimes depends in which context we are using them. So as I'm saying, when I'm using the word self-centered, means they're demanding too much attention for themselves. And when they're always looking for attention, that attention,
that sense is okay.
If they don't get that attention, they feel sad. They don't feel happy about it. So self-centered can be also another context also, which you're saying, which will go to the type 2 now. Thank you for sharing this. I really will make a note of it. And now let's go to the type 2, because I really want to cover these 4 so that you have some idea, and then you can relate with it. So can we unmute again, Pratham? Let's start the presentation. So type 2 is strength. Let's go to the type 2. Type 2 means control. Control means who want to take charge, who wants to take charge. Who wants to take charge means every strength and they are like, want to take charge in every situation. They want to be in the forefront. Like these people are like born leaders. Sometimes people say whether leaders are born or they can be made. According to my understanding, is both actually, because some people have natural traits to be a leader from childhood. Like if you see some children in the school, from the childhood only they will be taking the leadership position. They wanted to be class representative. They want to be the captain of the team. They want to be seen in everywhere in the front. They want to be in the play groups. Even in the home, they want to take a leading position. But some people can acquire those qualities. So this is another education which I want to make, that there is a core personality and there is an acquired personality. Now a type 1 can acquire some qualities of type 2. Like all of you here, very evolved personalities, you must have evolved yourself by acquiring many other qualities. Like type 1, if it's not organized, somebody maybe by core nature is a type 1, but maybe in the last few years, with a lot of hard work and lot of conscious endeavors, that person has actually developed the qualities of type 3. So that is called acquired nature. We are not talking about that right now. Type 2 are basically, they are very dynamic and active people. Dynamic active means they are doers. They like to achieve, they're action oriented. Their whole energy in the dynamism. They don't get tired. They just keep working hard and achieve more and more and more. You can see such people. Another strength, I'm not showing the slides now because it distracts the whole thing. I will, after the type 2, I'll show you the slides and then you can note down, or we can share the slides later on. Compulsive need for change. Another thing what they have is compulsive need for change. Means anywhere anything is lacking, they can't tolerate. They want to improve the situation. They want to have some kind of change in the situation. So they want change. They can't tolerate the nonsense. That's why they take a leadership position. Many houses, you see, type 2 take automatic leadership positions. Like even husband and wife, if type 2 is there, either one of the person, that person will be taking the lead. You see this? Why I'm not able to see? Always I'm seeing only one person here. Not finding very happy. Just give me a few seconds if you don't mind. Stop spotlighting. What does it mean?
Yeah, the spotlight means like you want one person to be in the Zoom.
Huh? Sorry?
Spotlight means like one person will be in the Zoom, or like one person will be focused. And
No,
I
I
believe
think it's
like
fine. It's fine. Chalo. So now another quality you can see now, na Pratham? We can continue, na? My screen is fine. Yeah. They have a strong willpower. Strong willpower means they can make strong decisions. And when they take strong decisions, people around them sometimes feel incompetent. Because the problem with type 2, that many times they don't take opinion of others. They don't include others. They don't give space to others. Another strength they have is they're unemotional. How will you say? Now somebody will say how unemotional can be a strength. It can be a strength when you're dealing with projects, and you don't need so much emotional support. So type 2 people are like go-getter. They just keep going ahead, and their emotions get affected only when their projects get affected. Otherwise, they are not so easy to get discouraged. Even if they have friends, their friends are connected to the projects. And when the project is over, you are at your place, I'm at your place, apne apne ghar, main apne ghar, raat gayi, baat gayi, like that. They are kind of people. They don't get easily discouraged. They just go on and on and on and on. Another very powerful strength type to have, they're independent and self-sufficient. What do you mean by independent and self-sufficient? They have lots of energy. Even if they don't have any skill or quality to develop a project, they will gather it, but they will move ahead. Even if people leave that person to support that particular project, that person will keep going and going and going. Another strength you will find in type 2, they have lots of confidence, because they can sense the situation. They have a lot of strong decision-making quality. Another thing, they're fast thinkers. And most of the time, type 2, they're gifted with some kind of intuition that their decisions are right, actually. That's why they're able to think fast. They can make decisions very fast. They can run anything because they can learn anything very easily. Now, because of this heavy personality, I would call it a heavy personality, heavy energy, sometimes people around them, they feel suffocated. So that's why I'm getting into weakness part now. Like any quality, which I told you in the beginning also, I'll keep repeating this point, any strength, if it is taken to the extremes, it becomes a weakness. So what happened with the type 2 people, that first of all, their personal health, sometimes they may compromise with the health because they're all the time working. They're achievers, they're workaholic, workaholic. They just don't know one simple word: relax. RELAX, relax. This 5 word word they don't know. They feel guilty if they want to relax. They feel guilty. Why should I relax? Why should I have wasted my time? Like one person was saying, typical type 2 person, Sunday in the evening, he told to his wife, I'm feeling so tired today. I have not done any work. They just don't know how to relax. And what happens because of that, when you all the time working and working and working, a lot of stress start gathering in the body and the mind and all the part of the personality, like we are into yoga also in Rishikesh, and in yoga therapy, one of the main technique is actually to all the diseases is relaxation. Yoga Nidra is one of the technique. If people don't have enough relaxation, they will have all kind of diseases. High blood pressure, sugar, triglycerides, cholesterol, mental problems, sleepless nights. So they have to learn. They may get heart attack also very easily. So they need to focus. They have to take out time to consciously relax, because everything is work oriented for them. Another problem with the type 2 is they have to be in control all the time. They want to be in control. So if you want to be in control all the time, then other people will feel not very nice, because their slogan is my way is the highway. Do it my way and right now. So it's okay, you can take that lead, but unless we start becoming sensitive to people, people will not love us eventually. People will leave us. So what happens with the type 2 people? They don't have many people around them. Those who are working with them for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Although they look for loyalty because they really like people who are loyal to them, because they want to make their team, and they're taking so much burden on their head and shoulders because they're really hard workers. Type 2 really take challenges and they really push themselves. But when they push themselves, they push others also. And they push sometimes very hard. And especially if they're pushing very hard, type 1 or type 3 or type 4 especially, they're pushing very hard, type 4 will run away. And type 1 will get, totally disturbed because he does things a little more with spontaneity. So they need to learn to be more sensitive. They need to understand people emotions, their situations. They don't know how to handle people. They don't know. That's why people leave them after some time. People feel suffocated. People feel pressured. So if you're a manager and you're a type 2, so, and you want not just to be manager, you want to be leader actually. So please develop some sensitivity. Please learn some listening skills. Develop some patience in life, and then people will love you, because people like type 2 people. Why they like type 2 people? Because type 2 people take responsibility. Type 2 people take all the burden on their shoulders. So they want to work with type 2 people. Like in my own life, I really had a very powerful type 2 manager. But actually, after a few years, I ran away because that person, and I was really loving him. I will love him now also. But afterwards, I realized this person is great, but I cannot work under him because too much of pressure, too much of expectation. So just one small thing, if anybody is type 2 here, people love you. Type 2 people are loved by everybody because they're taking the responsibility, they're taking the headache. Just become little sensitive. Don't have that too much of loud and heavy energy. You can have for yourself, but don't transmit to others. Learn to listen. And they become unpopular eventually. Why unpopular? Simple answer. I just answered that. Because they start pushing, and nobody like pushing so much eventually. In the beginning, people may do your things for you because of some majburi, whatever, they have to do it. But if you're planning to make a team in long-term point of view, please don't push people hard. So these are the things about type 2. And let me just complete type 3 and type 4 also, then we'll have some questions, and also I'll discuss something else also. So this is about control, type 2. Because type 2, when they're even born, from childhood, they so much everywhere. So much everywhere. Like one father was saying that I have 5-year-old kid, and even that 5-year-old kid, that one day he was told by his mother that today evening we are going to a restaurant for dinner. And this person said to his mother, okay, now you should wear this kind of dress, wear that kind of sandal, we are going to eat this and eat that. So that kind of control they want to have, type 2. Type 3, let's come to type 3. Type 3 are perfectionist. Type 3's motto of life is, if I am doing anything, I must do perfectly. Otherwise, I should not do it. They like clarity. For them, writing is very important. For them, why writing is very important? Because they carry a lot of emotions in their head. They have to clear it out. And then what strengths they have? Let's discuss one by one. They're very deep and thoughtful. Very deep and thoughtful. They look life in black and white. And that's why sometimes they become pessimistic in their life. They like serious conversations. They love intellectual people. And they cannot handle people who are lightweight. There are many intellectuals you will find, kind of philosophers and scientists and research scholars. Sometimes they may fall in the category of type 3. And they're very analytical people. Everything they will analyze to the core. That's why such people are very good for critical thinking. When a company is hiring, so sometimes company really wants some people who can do critical thinking, and type 3s are very good for that. Type 3, as I told you in the story in the beginning, even when they are having game or something, they will be studying the game, they will be making reports for everything. This is the thing with the type 3. Everything is about list and graph and chart. In a company, somebody told me this story. I don't know how true it is, but he was saying that he heard from a friend that in their company, there was a manager, and he was loving the chart so much, Excel sheet so much, that when he was retiring and they were giving a farewell party, they made a cake. And that cake was the shape of Excel sheet in honor of him. So this is how they live. Everything, they have a purpose in life. Everything they do with the purpose. They will not be just wasting time for fun and all that. Everything, they want a value in it. Everything is planned. That's why they are born with a genius potential. It's not that only type 3 can be genius. Anybody can be genius. But type 3s are born with a genius potential because they go very deep into everything. They put a lot of energy into it. And they're extremely organized people and very orderly. Everything they will organize. I was telling you, even if they plan a trip, even if they plan a vacation, everything will be planned. Their clothes are planned in a wardrobe. Sometimes they plan the whole week what they're going to wear on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and the table, the markers will be at one place, and the bottle will be another place, and everything has a place, and everything is at their own place, and everything is so organized, and they get really disturbed if somebody touches their things. So one family was sharing this story that they had a small baby, and this baby would cry on the bed if bed is messy. Small baby, just 6 months or 1 year old, and if bed is completely clean, the baby would be peaceful. So these traits, actually, I'm telling you, we are born with, most of us. Some children, when they are in mess, they just want to be in seclusion, and they will become all right. And some children, when they're in mess, they want to be hugged and kissed and loved. And some children, if they don't get control in the house, they get disturbed. They want to do something, they want to achieve something. And some children, they just want to be very easy life, They don't want any pressure, they want to be very peaceful. So this is how it works. Another thing about type 3 is they're extremely talented and creative people. They can learn music very deeply. They can be very artistic also. They can be great philosophers also. Why? Again, because of the same reason, they go into details very much. And they try to master one thing again and again and again. And at the same time, they're very sensitive. They're very sensitive. Although they don't exhibit their emotions so easily, but they're crying from within. They're crying inside. They're super emotional people. They go to watch a movie, they will be crying, and that's why you have to deal with them very carefully, with the type 3 people, because they're always analyzing, always very careful, always very sensitive. and very emotional and very sacrificing also, very self-sacrificing. They will go out of the way to help people. And another issue is they're very idealistic. Idealistic means they want everything for themselves perfectly, and they expect from others perfectly. So that's where comes the problem we are trying to discuss now, which is very important to know. That weakness part, that any strength, when it is stretched to the limits, it becomes weakness. If they are idealistic, so what happens is that they have very high standard from themselves and very high standard from others. And they just don't like the work of others many times. And people feel no matter how much we do for this person doesn't get satisfied. So the idea is that now we are shifting to the weaknesses of type 3, that they have to start reducing their high standards. So any type 3 is here able to connect with the type 3 traits. Please reduce your standards, if not for yourself, from yourself, at least from others. You can have two set of standards, um, a set of standards from yourself and set of standards from others, because another person may not be able to face your high level of expectation of cleanliness, of organize everything at the home. And they can get easily depressed also. Type 1, why they can get easily depressed? Because the deep thinking and analyzing, and when person analyze, there is a saying called paralysis through analysis. So sometimes they analyze so much and so much and so much, they get actually paralyzed. So and they will be thinking negative. One small negative thought can lead to more negative, more negative, more negative, more negative. And remember this point, that nobody likes gloomy people in this world. So they have to take some energy from the type 1. Type 1 are bubbling with the energy, they're happy, they're humorous, they're life of the party. So that's how we have to understand. They have to take that cheer up energy from the type 1, because the type 3 people are actually moving around with with their heart in the plate. And anybody says something negative, they feel very hurt. But life doesn't work like that. Life is, you have to keep moving, keep moving ahead. That's why sometimes type 3 people can have low self images. They can have low self esteem in their life. They start disapproving themselves. They have a lot of negative thoughts. They don't accept themselves. They don't love themselves so much. They keep cursing themselves. I'm doing this, I did that, this is wrong, that is wrong. So please don't have negative thoughts if type 3 people are there. Try to replace them with the positive qualities which you have. Remind yourself with the positive qualities which you have. Remind yourself the compliments you have gotten from others. This is very important. And sometimes type 3 can even lead to the procrastination. Why procrastination? They delay the work because they're always looking for perfection. If you ask the type 3 to submit a report, submit a project, they would be always lagging behind the time, not because they have not done it. It's not like about type 1. They have done it, but they're not satisfied with the work because they want to be more perfect and more perfect and more perfect. So then again, the point I'm trying to say is that don't have unrealistic demands from yourself and from others. Try to be more compassionate to yourself. Try to accept yourself more. Try to accept others more and relax your standards, So this is like in nutshell about type 3. Type 3 need to have a gratitude journal. Type 3 need to have a appreciation journal so that she or he can appreciate herself or himself regularly, because positive attitude and cheerfulness is very, very important for type 3. And then type 4, let me come to that type 4 now, because after discussing the type 4, I'll show you the slides. You can note down few points and then we'll have some discussion on it. Type 4 is strengths. What are the type 4 in nutshell? Type 4 are easygoing people. Easygoing means they're all purpose people. They're closest to being balanced. Their strength and weakness are not very, their peak is not very high or low, like a sinusoidal wave, if you just imagine. So their peak of strength is not very high. Their peak of weakness is not also very low. That's why they're all purpose people. and they're evolved, they have a lot of humility and gentleness that attracts people towards them. They're peace, they're having peace in their life, like parents, if they're type 4, they can be excellent parents because they don't expect too much, they don't demand too much. Similarly the children, similarly the bosses. But the problem is that with such kind of person, if it become too much, then it may lead to indiscipline, it may lead to different other problems. But they are very having a lot of patience and very balanced. They're never in hurry, they mediate problems very nicely. So if you want uh, somebody want to make a profession of a mediator, like profession of those who do mediation, type 4 can do it very nicely because they have a lot of patience. They have patience to hear people hours and hours and hours. That's why one of the strength type 4 has, that they have a lot of friends, although they don't endeavor for it like type 1. Type 1 actually move around and try to develop friendship, people come to them also. But type 4 people automatically get attracted because people want to share issues with them. That's why they can be very good counselors also in their life, the profession of counselors type 4, because it requires a lot of patience. They're low key personality. Low key personality means they don't demand attention, they're very pleasing. They're I mean they actually don't want to take leadership position also. It's like a behind the curtain, they want to be in the background, they don't want to come into the forefront. And so they're low key personality, they just want to do their work peacefully, they just want to have their schedule, very very fixed schedule they have. If they're doing something, you will same thing you will do same time, day after day, week after week, year after year. Sometimes you can even say that this particular person will be sleeping at this time, this particular person will be eating at this time, if he's type 4. That much low key personality and same schedule they have. And they're reluctant leaders, as I already told you, they don't want to come into the front, they have to be pushed forward if they want to take the position. They're easygoing and relaxed. Mm. They don't want to take any pressure and headache like type 2. Just remember now type 2, how they are get goes and the doers and the achievers. Type 4 don't have all that. Type 4 just want to have a very peaceful, relaxed life, do it step by step eventually. Mm. Just imagine if somebody's boss is type 2 and the employee is type 4, or husband is type 2 and wife is type 4, or vice versa, it becomes like a type 4 may feel like a butcher sitting on my head if type 2 is not evolved here. So the whole idea of this workshop is so that you can evolve yourself, by becoming more aware that what is strengths I have, and they should not become weakness. And when I'm dealing with another person and understanding that personality, I can be more sensitive. Because if you're dealing with type 4 person, a type 4 person likes to be calm, cool, and collected. When there is a problem in type 1 life, type 1 screams, type 2 lashes out, and type 3 sings, and type 4 writes cool. So that's why you don't think that type 4 doesn't have qualities. When everybody is in panic, in a reversal, type 4 can be very peaceful. And that person can take actually the lead. Like one of my friend was telling that once they have gone to a vacation, and husband and wife, and husband is type 2 and wife is type 4. So they had, after the vacation, they had a lot of shopping they have done, and it was their, what happened is like they had 2-3 bags, and because they had put so much of things in the bags, one of the bag broke down, it just stopped on the airport, and things were falling apart. So now husband was, really in panic, what to do now, these things are falling apart, and wife was just standing cool. So after a few minutes, wife just got up and took her purse and started walking. So husband said, "Where are you going? There's mess here." He said, "I'm just coming. I just want to go for a shopping a little bit." Husband really got upset. He said, "Already we have so much things and they are littering around, fallen apart." But she coolly walked down, and after 10 to 15 minutes, she comes with a new bag, and she bought a new bag. And husband was, shocked. He couldn't think that we are at the airport and we can easily buy another bag here. But the type 4 can very peacefully think, calm and collected. They have a lot of patience. They're well balanced. Type 2 is pushy. Type 1 is impulsive, but type 4 is very peaceful. This is their strength, they have. And they have a consistent life, as I told you. The schedule is very much same. They're quiet but witty. What is the meaning of quiet and witty? Well, they won't be talking much all the time like type 1, but when they speak, they can have a lot of sense of humor in one line also. They have a lot of one-liners, great one-liners. They're sympathetic and kind. They don't push people. They allow people to do their work in their own time, sweet time. Now, somebody may ask, if somebody is like that, then how can that person be a manager? Because that person cannot take the administrative role because people will not do any work under him. No, it's not like that. That person allow another person to do the work at their own pace, although at the same time that person will put some boundary line. And in long run, type 4 people become the very good managers because people start loving them, people start liking them, they want to be with them because they don't push them. So these are the they're happily reconciled in life. They don't demand too much from themselves and demand too much from others. So these are some of the strengths they have. And the problem with them is the weaknesses they have is they're not very exciting. Life is not very exciting. If somebody has a type 4 husband or wife or partner, and that very same schedule, no thrill, no desire to achieve anything, no desire to do something very big, life doesn't become very enthusiastic. So what they have to do, they have to start once in a month at least something very special. That is change. Another problem with the type 4, that if something is going on, let it just go on like this. Why to change it? So again, it becomes very boring. It becomes like if person want to change the house, person like color of the walls or the furniture, or they want to try something else in their life, some different kind of food, they will be eating the same food every day. They don't mind about it. But it doesn't work. Your partner may be type 1 or type 2, they want to try something else. So then you have to go out of the way to, just to have some change, little bit in life. For the sake of others, for the sake of others. This seems lazy. They seems lazy because they don't want to take any big responsibility, because they don't want to go into the front. They don't want too much pressure. So they need to motivate themselves. And if you're dealing with any type 4, what you need to do is you have to support them gradually so that they can gradually develop that confidence. And they have to stop this, that we will do it later on and it's not required. And another thing is that they sometimes hide emotions actually, and they don't express it, and they don't demand anything from others. And then they feel that I'm not being included in the discussion, I have not been taken care of. But the law of this world is that you need to learn to express. You need to involve yourself in discussion and express yourself. You can't be sitting in the corner and expecting people to paying attention all the time for you. So that's the important thing. And the last one for them is there appears to be wishy-washy. What is wishy-washy? Wishy-washy means they are not very strong in making decisions. They just say, okay, this is also okay, that is also okay. And why they don't want to take any decision? Because with decision comes some kind of heavy responsibility which type 2 takes. And when they don't make decisions, when they appear wishy-washy, they left behind in a family, in the society, in the company, in the organization, and they're not given attention. So somewhere in the heart, they feel left out, because one of the main human need, whether it's type 1 or type 2 or type 3 or type 4, acceptance and being involved into the discussions and everything. But if you don't take the lead, if you don't make some decisions sometime, then you will be left out. So that's why they need to learn to make some decisions, and strong decisions, and go ahead in life. So if you let me show you now slides, so that a little bit of summary of these strengths and weaknesses, then I will have some discussion on it, some question. And if time permits, after that, I will get to the another part of it that is called emotional needs. Otherwise, at least I want that we have done whatever we have done, we understand this much. So let me share you some slides. So if you want, just a quick revision in 2 minutes. So type 2 is extrovert, doer, optimistic, and their basic desire is control. And they have this strengths, which is like born leader, they're dynamic and active, they have a compulsive need for change. Yeah. And then can you see it, Pratham? Are you there?
Yeah, it was visible, but
Now?
just now we lost slides. Not
Now
yet. Can you share them again?
Okay. Now?
Yeah, visible now.
So instead of showing, I'll just show from here only. So now type 2, you have a strong will, they're decisive, they're unemotional, they don't get easily discouraged, they're independent, self-sufficient, they have lots of confidence. They can run anything, any project you give them. And if you tell them, sometime if you tell them you can't do this, they will say, okay, I can't do this. Then definitely they will do it. They will put all their energy. They take challenges. They love to take challenges. And what are the weaknesses? The workaholic, they have to be in control. They look down at others, do not how to handle people, they're unpopular. So they need to learn to relax here. They have to be in control means sometimes they have to start putting some faith in others, share the control with others. Don't look down at others that they're not able to achieve anything, they're not so fast. Everybody cannot be so fast, but they can contribute. You have to learn to involve them into the discussion, give them some responsibilities, have some trust, delegation. And then type 3 have deep and thoughtful, analytical, serious and purposeful. They're born with potential of being a genius. They're extremely organized and orderly, extremely talented and creative. They're philosophical and poetic. They're self-sacrificing and sensitive to others. Will make friends very cautiously, idealistic. And the weakness is that they may easily get depressed because of too much of analysis, too much of thinking, paralysis through analysis, and could have low self-esteem because they don't approve themselves. They condemn themselves many times. One small mistake and they will get into the guilt feeling too much. They don't forgive themselves easily and they don't forgive others also easily. So that becomes a problem actually. And then their tendency to procrastinate, because they want perfection. Like one of my friend was writing a book on cooking, and like writing, and she's not able to publish only. So then he was given a suggestion that at least develop a draft copy, just publish 500 copies. So then he did that. Maybe after 1 year you can do it another. Otherwise the things doesn't come out. You just keep thinking and thinking and thinking. Too high standards. Type 4, they're all-purpose person. They have patience. They have low-key personality, reluctant leaders, easygoing and relaxed, calm, cool, and collected. They say in every home or every team, it's good to have at least one type 4 who can balance the situation. And then they have consistent life. They're quiet but witty, sympathetic and kind, keeps emotion hidden, happily reconciled to life, has administrative ability, has many friends. And the weaknesses are they're not exciting, they resist change, they seem lazy, hide feelings, appear wishy and washy. So they need to learn to make some strong decisions. They learn to express themselves, what they want, what they feel, and they have to really take some responsibility and start doing some new thing. If they're staying with the type 1 or type 3, especially type 1 and type 2, because type 1 and type 2 really want some change in their life. So let me open up now for some questions actually, because I have a lot more to share, but it's better to first digest it a little bit more. Let's have some questions for 5-10 minutes, and if time permits we'll go to something more. Anybody has any question or want to share
Sir,
something?
sir,
Yes.
how we can make trust in an organization? Because trust is very important to build organization sustainable.
Yeah, very good. So building trust in an organization. First of all, I beg to differ that we actually don't build a trust in organization. We build trust with people actually. So So organization is dead. It's actually it's made by the people. So the people around you will develop trust in you when actually they see that you are responsible. They see you are sensitive. There are certain qualities to develop the trust: sensitive, responsible, loyal. And so what happens when you understand, if you see from this workshop point of view, if you understand your strength and if you work on your strength, so naturally you will be doing much more efficiently the work. And if you understand other people personalities, then you will have better relationships with them. So it's not only about the developing trust within organization, it's also the same thing will apply developing trust in the family. Like if your partner sees that my partner is actually very sensitive, understand me, listens to me, does his work responsibly, so gradually trust develops. Trust develops when you do your work responsibly, you deliver the things at the right time with proper manner, and you also have sweet relationships with your team. What is the meaning of sweet relationship? Sweet relationship doesn't mean just having a smile. And sweet relationship, again, that you actually start understanding what that person is. And when that person feel accepted, when that person feel comfortable around you, then actually it becomes wonderful. So it is a very big thing which we can discuss eventually, but in essence what I can say is this workshop can also help you to develop trust not only in the people in your company, also in the uh, family, because then the moment you start understanding yourself and others, things start changing, I'm telling you. Because then people have a lot of time problems. The complaint is that that person has not understood me, that person behaved with me in a wrong way, I had some other thing in my mind and that person is spoken different way. So I would say in essence is that you can develop trust very easily by two things. One is doing your work in a responsible way, and second is by dealing with other people in more sensitive manner. Hmm. Any other question? Yeah.
What will be the leadership? Suppose leadership roles, people. So, what are the activities it is required for a person in going to a hierarchy? Suppose from a manager level to a general manager level, what quality can they build? So that that leadership role, apart from the technical, some non-technical, the people management.
Yeah. So
So, what are the things you?
leadership required values. Actually, this topic is again going in different direction, but we can connect to type 2. Let's say type 2 person. So type 2 person can be a very good leader. He has all the qualities of managers, but he has to develop some value system. For being a leader, first thing person has to learn some listening skills. Listening skills means like what person another person is trying to say. Because type 2 person, many times what happens, they're such fast thinkers that they think that what they are saying is right, and many times they're right also. But leadership is not about just doing the things. Leadership is about involving people. So how you involve people? By allowing them to speak. So if you want to transition from manager to leader, somehow we have to develop patience in our life. At least allow people to speak. Like type 4 person, if you have type 4 person would like to express his opinion or her opinion. They will not anyway not going to take decisions because they don't have that desire or willpower, but they want to express themselves. If sometime allow them to express, then another quality which leader has to develop is humility, tolerance. Like some person is not able to do the work with the same speed as you are able to do the work with the same speed. Allow the person to have little more time, but set some boundary lines. Another thing which you can do as a leader is understand whose strength is what. This is the most important point, which is the most important message which I'm trying to give from this workshop, is that please identify the strength of individuals and then engage them according to that. What we do is, just because you have this position, you are supposed to do this. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If you are the leader of the team leader, you have the freedom. If organization has given you that in charge, that this person can be given, you decide which person should be doing what work. not because just because that person has that profile, you know. If in a team a girl is type 1, and if she is very good in making the PPT, give her that PPT, she will do the marvelous job. Even the most dry topic which are very dry, she can make it so colorful. So what I'm trying to say is that identify the people's strength, identify people needs, and once you start connecting with them on their strength, they will start flowering, you know, they will start just growing together. So that's the thing. Okay, any other question anybody
Each,
have?
each, each
Can we
calm is
take somebody
required for
else?
leaders.
Can we take from somebody else? Anybody else want to ask? Nobody else? Yeah, we come back to you. What was your question, sir?
Each calm is required in leadership. Also, how
Calm
you
means what?
improve
What do you mean by calm?
a leader will be
CALM,
calm and
calmness.
yeah, calm,
Yeah,
calm,
yeah,
cool.
calmness, cool, calm and cool. Yeah. See, it's not that only calm is required. Leader has to play different role in different times. Sometimes leader has to be aggressive. Sometimes leader has to be passive. Sometimes leader has to be assertive. It's not like only one thing. Whatever is needed, that is why he's a leader. You know, leader has to exhibit different qualities at different times. So, that's why becoming a leader is not that easy. Becoming manager is easy because manager means you have to just get the work done. But you have got the work done, but after getting the work done, leader will make sure that people are also happy with him. And so calmness is required, appreciation is required. You were asking which other quality leader should have. He should have the ability to appreciate people, you know. Generally we have the habit of catching people doing wrong. Okay, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. But leader has to develop the habit of catching people doing things right, you know. Unless we develop the habit of catching people doing right, they will not be encouraged in their life, you know. So we have to learn, even in the family, if you're dealing with the children and all the time you're catching them doing wrong, appreciate them every day. Find something in yourself also and others also, encourage them, because when you encourage people, they actually do more. They do more. We think that by finding faults they will do more. Definitely we can find some kind of mistake which they have done, but like I have heard another concept called, which is like giving feedback. It's called sandwich concept. Even if you have to give somebody a negative feedback, sandwich it, you know. First give some words of appreciation, then say some room for improvement, then again sandwich it with, you know, another words of appreciation. The people feel encouraged and at the same time they get the message. Anything else? Nobody else. Okay.
How how to improve integrity in a system? Because you are having the core values of integrity, shamelessness, speed, patience, but we are lagging behind the issue of integrity. There is a core value in organization, but we are still lagging behind. Suppose out of 10 we are 70, 80. At least how we raise 1 point more. So what are the factors we can focus on as a team holistically on integrity
We
improvement?
can
Any
take this
suggestion?
question after 10 minutes, because I want to complete one more thing, which because I was expecting some more questions related to workshop, but I think let me complete the another topic which I have in my mind.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
now after
Proceed.
understanding this strengths and weaknesses of what you say personalities, one very important thing in next 10 minutes I will try to cover, although it takes a long time, but I'll give you the glimpse of it. Understanding the emotional needs, you know, which are very important, because each personality has some emotional needs, and when you understand people emotional needs, then actually you can fulfill those needs, and people will be having, people will feel, you can feel more connected to them. Like say type 1 emotional needs are, Pratham, can you see the picture? Is there? Hello?
Yeah, the presentation
Yeah,
visible.
presentation is there. So let's discuss about this last part of the discussion. I have described you about the strength of the type 1 and all the 4 types and all the 4 types weaknesses. But this is a very important part of the discussion, which actually all types have core predominant needs. And once you understand these predominant needs of all types, then you will try to fulfill for yourself and you will try to fulfill for others also. These needs are like bank account, like we have a bank account. Similarly, we have emotional bank account. What is emotional bank account? Emotional bank account is that when you deposit the money, bank account goes high, like credit and debit. So similarly in relationship, it's called relationship bank account, or you can say emotional bank account. So when you try to fulfill the need of someone, it means you are doing deposit into the bank account. It means relationship is strengthening. Or if you're depositing in your bank account yourself, like if you're a type 1 and you are doing some endeavors to have some attention, some acceptance, some kind of approval, some kind of affection, it means your emotional bank account will go high and your emotional stability will increase. But if you're type 1 and if you're not getting any attention, if you're not getting any acceptance, if you're not getting any approval, if you're not getting any affection, your emotional bank account will go down and you will not feel happy. So the point here is very simple, how to give attention. If you have a type 1 in your life and you want to make the relationship more strong, then please have some more eye contact and listen lovingly. Approval, catch them doing the right things and praise them. Acceptance, we love you even if you make mistakes, we support you. This is another thing. Affection, you have to hold hands, give them kisses and hugs. This is very important for type 1. If you have a type 1 child, it's very important to have the hugging and kissing for them. Activity, plan fun activities like outdoor games, shopping and movies and drives, because they love this. So these are the 5 A's which type 1 need. If you're a type 1, try to fulfill them on your own if somebody is not giving you. If you have somebody type 1 in your life, and if you want to make your relationship strong, you have to do these 5 things for them. Similarly for type 2. Type 2 look for action. They need others to take action. They understand, align with this. It's not that you can please type 2 just by talking sweet words. They have to do something for them. Loyalty, they need loyal people who just keep working for them. They are responsible. Control, create boundaries and areas control for comfort. So if you're a type 2 and if somebody is a type 2, then you have to create boundaries. Boundaries means you give the area of control to that person, you want to keep your area of control for yourself, otherwise there can be a fight also. Then they want leadership. You have to give them leadership positions. If you have a type 2 partner, type 2 children, type 2 employees, some kind of leadership, sometime where they have a sense of achievement, give them appreciation and credit. Appreciate them, because if you appreciate them externally, they will not be happy. But if you appreciate them, what they have achieved, they will be very happy. So if you're dealing with the type 2 and type 2 has achieved something by working very hard, don't forget to appreciate them. And then decision making, involve them in small or big decisions. If you have a type 2 person in your team, if you have a type 2 person in your family, involve them in the decisions, and otherwise they will be very hurt eventually, because they want to have their say, they want to have their control. Then type 3, they need sensitivity, space, silence, support, and stability. How to do it? Learn the language of emotions. How? By being sensitive. Need the other to understand and empathize with their feelings, because type 3s are very sensitive. So what they want is actually when they are low, because many times they go low in their life, so they expect that you at least be around them. Empathize means you connect with their feelings. Don't ask them to change immediately. Don't ask them to uplift them. Don't say what happened, what happened, just fun, just go out. Not like that. They want people around them who understand them and just around them, because type 3 people need a lot of space, physical space also, mental space also, because they process all the information. They need silence. They want their alone time. So if you're type 3, look for these 5 things and you will be emotionally happy. If you're dealing with some other type 3, look for these 5 things. Support, they need support. Support means, okay, you do whatever you want to do. If you need me, I'm around. Don't push them hard. Stability, they want routine. They don't want their routine to get disturbed. They want economic stability. So if you're a type 3, plan your life nicely. If you're dealing with type 3, don't make some plans which immediately disturb their stability. Suddenly you say them, okay, tomorrow we are going for a vacation, or maybe after 2 days you say, I want to buy something, very expensive. They will get disturbed actually. So respect their needs, respect your needs, and your emotional quotient will increase actually. And the type 4 issues is self-worth and respect. They want lot of self-worth. They want loving motivation because they just don't feel like pushing themselves. They have to be motivated lovingly so that they can take responsibility, they can make decision. They want attention and praise because they don't come in forefront. At the same time, they want it because every human being wants some attention and praise. And peace and relaxation, the most important need of the type 4 is peace and relaxation. Don't push them hard, don't push too much pressure on them. And if you're type 4, look for these kind of 4 things. So this thing which I have described you in last 10 minutes is one of the most important part of relationship building. And please try to remember these points. I will share with you these slides actually eventually. If there is a facility, I'll ask Pratham who can share it with all of you later on. But what I'm trying to say here is these emotional needs which we are talking about are very important if you want to have relationship bank account growing and growing and growing, because we all are made of some needs. We all need to fulfill those needs, but everybody may not have same needs. So once you identify your personality, the blend of 2 personality, and you do some analysis, self introspection, you will understand this. We have been doing this workshop and many other kind of relationship kind of presentations, and this is one of the most important part I have found. Like only few skills are required actually. We may have best of the intentions in life. We may say, I love you, I like you, I don't feel bad for you, I don't want anything bad for you, but sometimes just lack of little skills doesn't allow the relationship to grow, and we get emotionally so imbalanced. When relationship is at stake, whether it is a workplace or at the home, mind get disturbed, and efficiency of the work get disturbed. So it is my pleasure, it's already 4 o'clock. I want to wind it up so that those who want to leave, they can leave. And afterwards, those who want to stay, we can have question answer session for some more time. But what I'm trying to say is that is a little bit of skills learning, whether it's a listening skills, whether it's communication skills, expressive skills, whether it is about how to relax and mindfulness. If we have little bit of investment in the right kind of skills, our efficiency at work will also increase and our loving relationship will also increase. So it is one of the very good investment which I feel honored that I was invited to share some of my thoughts. Although time was short, I was doing little fast, sorry for that, because it is a very vast topic. But I wanted to give you an idea that if you have knowledge of these 4 kind of personalities, which is very basic model, there are many more complex models are there, but it's very simple. Please try to read this book called Personality Plus. I can send you the link later on through that slides also. And if you have any questions, you can contact me also. I don't mind, spending some time with all of you. Anyone who want to, my name is there, number was also there. And my only request is in the end is that try to connect yourself. You mostly will be the part of 2, either type 1 or type 2 or type 3, combination of these 2. And try to write down your needs, what emotional needs you have. Try to write down the emotional needs of your family members. Make a family circle. Family circle means you are in the middle, and around put some 5-6 people who are most important in your life, from your workplace and from your family, and then see where they fit. They fit in type 1 or type 2 or type 3 or type 4. Then write down their emotional needs, and then when you deal next time with them, keep those things in my mind, and so much change you will find in your life. I can assure you that. And if you have any question now, we can take it, and you can also connect with us later on if you feel like. Let's open the floor for the questions. Nobody?
How you improved integrity in an organization?
Anything else? Because this is not this question I want to take later, because this is like organizational question. Integrity. What do you mean by integrity? What do you want to ask? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Integrity means suppose how in your work, suppose in your engineering background, a lot of people are engineering backgrounds. So ethics, engineering ethics. So those are know about engineering ethics, they may be concerned. Integrity means suppose there are so many things like suppose basically the culture. That means it is from the family. People is coming from family background or the family. That is also important.
Now I got your point. Yeah. So the point is that, first of all, I think I have not emphasized on my disclaimer in this workshop that this workshop is actually to bring change in individuality. Because even if you are attending this workshop, you're thinking, I will change my partner, I will change my boss, I will change my employee, is not going to work. So any culture, any place, it can be transformed only by training, only by examples. So whether it is organization or whether it is a family, I'm repeating again, you have to educate the people and you have to show the example. So whether it is about integrity or any other quality, it can happen if people start taking responsibility. Like you two attended this workshop, but if you want your partner or your employees to also know this, you can't expect them to do it. You can't judge them, you're type 1, you're type 2. They have to take the training. So that's why training is very important, and then to show the right example. So any culture, if there is a culture of integrity, that culture of integrity will come when many people will start practicing those value system. And how that happens? That happens when leaders of the company start showing those qualities. Because even in our Eastern literature, if Bhagavad Gita is such an important book, it talks about yadyat acharti shreshtas tattat evatara janava. Sayat pramanam krute lokastad anuvartate. That whatever the leaders of the society, leaders of the family, leaders of the organization do, common people just follow. So if leaders have integrity, then common people will automatically follow the integrity. At the same time, they will be given the training, right kind of skills development. So I think by the right example and by the training with the right skills, it can be done. Any other question?
Right. No,
Yeah.
rightly say. One more thing. At present scenario, this VUCA world, which type of leadership quality will be emphasized so that people should be resilient and maybe sustain?
Whether it's a modern world or previous world, leadership qualities are the same. Leadership qualities are the same. Dedication, humility, tolerance, appreciating the subordinates, flexibility, and involving them, respecting them. These are the spiritual qualities. And leadership means spiritual qualities. So whether it's a family leader, organization leader, leader can be successful eventually only when that person has. You read any leader of the world, whether it's a political leader or manager leader or a spiritual leader, you will find some common qualities actually, whether it's Dalai Lama or whether it is spiritual personalities like in the India, so many spiritual personalities are there, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and political leaders who have been really loved and appreciated by others. I'm not talking about 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like decades. They have exhibited the qualities of truthfulness and humility and tolerance and respect and expressing themselves, involving others, accepting others with all their faults and whatever. The biggest quality which I feel the leader should have is accepting others with whatever they have and then inspiring them with their example. Yeah.
Great insight. So, are you one more thing I want to say? Suppose now people are saying servant leadership style. So, can you share
This is
something
servant
about?
leadership. This is what servant leadership I was talking about. Servant leadership means like you are a leader, you are a manager, and there are 100 people are under you. You go at their level, you go to their desk, you talk to them, you try to understand their problems. You're not just sitting on the head and giving the instructions. Servant leadership means you try to become servant of your servant. You understand? You become the servant of your servant. That is called servant leadership. Doesn't mean that you leave your position. Psychologically, emotionally, you try to connect what that person is going through and support that person and uplift that person from where he is or she is. So that happens only when you try to understand what kind of mindset and challenges that person may be facing, what kind of situation that person may have at home, what kind of challenges that person is facing with his team members, what kind of when leaders start understanding the challenges of his subordinates, it actually starts becoming servant leadership.
Thank you for the interactive session, and I hope we all receive your presentation because we at least some takeaways we can take from this presentation. Thank you
It
for
was my
organizing.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, Pratham. So I think nobody else is asking the question. So can we close it?
Yeah, sure. So thanks a lot for such a nice session. I believe we all had something or the other to learn. And I believe like we have seen this in other FDPs as well. Like teachers tend to be introverts. They take down the notes but rarely ask questions. So I believe that is the case with most of us now. But I'm of the opinion that most of us learned something and we'll be happy if you can share your feedback about this session. And with this, we bring a close to this session. I'll be sharing the slides with everyone, and you can contact Vivek if you want in the future for any further guidance. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving the patience listening, and I'm grateful to Pratham and all of you for allowing me to share something, and really pleasure. Bye.
ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ಇದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೇಸ್ 1 ಅಲ್ವಾ
Hello.
ಫೇಸ್ 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ
Pratham sir,
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್
Yeah.
ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ
where have you given the link for the feedback, sir?
Okay, so the feedback link will be shared in the last. So if you have any particular feedback, you can share right now in the chat box. I believe now most of you have the ability, but a formal feedback will be two-way. I believe one is the feedback that you need to submit at the Atal website and the Atal page that you have for yourself. And the other one will be a Google form that we'll be sharing on Friday so that we can have your comments upon how to improve this session in the future.